I feel so bad for you because no one told you about this extra way you can get important items in Guild of Guardians. After you complete an adventure, you can repeat a more challenging version of it for one-time and continuous rewards, and I'm going to show you that right now. You can jump into the game right here, and in the bottom right, you can click Adventure. I'm sorry it's behind my head here, but there is Adventure right there. You can go and click that. Once you go into there, you can click an area you've already visited before. In my case, we're just going to have a look at Fallen Cemetery. And then you can click these little 3 bars, which you might have missed because it's really easy to miss it. There's little 3 bars. And now you can drop down to Challenge 2 and Challenge 3. Now on Challenge 1, what you'll notice is I have 2 options below my head. I have Start and Sweep. And Sweep, I can just click and it will go through, sorry, I clicked the wrong button. I can click Sweep and do the dungeon and it will grab me all of the rewards from Challenge 1 of this dungeon that it's going to say I'm going to get. And it helps you level up, your Guardians. Overall, fantastic. You can see here that on the first clear, I get all this sort of stuff. And on continuous clears, I get all this, which we just received. Now, when you go to Challenge 2, you can see the same thing. And I even have a 3 out of 3 because I can only do that a certain amount of times every single day. I also have Sweep, but that is only because I've completed the challenge. If you go to Challenge 3, however, then you can see that I do not have Sweep active right here. Whoop, that way. I do not have Sweep active because I have not beaten this yet at Challenge 3. Recommended Guardian level 38. My team is not very good for this, but I'm going to give it a shot anyways. It's got different runes that it's showing you what it has, so you can really build your team around the best way to take on the challenge. The other thing is it's got different rewards in here. You can actually win the little shards for some epic guardians. So this is a really good thing to do every single day when you have time, is if you've beaten it, you can just sweep it twice every single day to get all of these shards up and just continue accumulating them if you want those different guardians. So this is a really important way to do so. You also get the wisdom dust, which in the pre-beta stuff, I found was the hardest resource to acquire in Guild of Guardians, because you need that to level up all the skills and it's quite expensive to do so. The other option here is we have a medium-sized power stone to help us enhance gear really quickly. So also very, very helpful. So let's start because I need to show you guys what this is like. Because it's very simple. This is a lot harder than your regular adventure mode. It's actually quite challenging to do it, and there are a few different minor rules that I want to make you aware of before you go off and start doing these on your own. So let's get started. I'll just chuck in all of my things. Now, sure, I've got some over level 39, but not enough to make it winnable, trust me. I've tried. I could try again, but I don't think I'm going to win this time. Maybe later today when I've had a chance to do some other stuff. But yeah, so basically, we're going through to the camp. It usually opens on the camp. That's another big difference. I tend to switch between Research and Inspire. I like to get an extra rune under my belt because you'll find that runes are a little bit harder to get in the challenges, especially on Challenge 3. So I'm going to subtract 15% from enemy physical reduction. But what you might have noticed is it was a legendary rune. You will get all legendary runes in this, but there's a catch. They'll also have 2 buffs as opposed to the typical 1 buff as you've seen in some of your other dungeons. If you click on the buffs, you can see what they are. In this case, you've got Bloodstone, where they gain extra damage when they're low, and they get revived 3 seconds after dying with 20% max HP. Guardians suffer 0.1% max HP damage per second. I like to avoid these ones the best I can, depending on how good my healing is. Shield, they get an extra shield for max HP. There is one in particular, we'll probably come across it soon, that I implore you to avoid at all costs because it's just not worth the extra work. But we're just going to go into the revive one because it takes them 3 seconds to revive. They only have 20% health. My team can handle that just fine. I'd rather that than them having a shield. But here is the big difference. There will be a Curse of Fate every single round. You will get a rune, a positive rune, and a Curse of Fate, which is essentially a negative rune. You heard me right. I have to pick one of these. All enemies gain a shield equal adding to their max HP. When a HP is below 25%, they gain extra resistances, and Guardians cannot use their ultimate for the first 10 seconds of battle. I never ever pick Inhibition. I recommend you do not. That is insane. I usually pick Bone Shield but they'll keep popping up and you'll have to keep benefiting your opponent as well as yourself. Matching this up with the runes you get is helpful as well. For example, there's a Curse of Fate that will basically say like, your enemy has better resistances, and I got the rune already that meant that the enemy has worse resistances. So they almost cancel out and you start to nullify the effects of those Curse of Fates, but they will normally stack up against you in the end. Actually have one of my clones of my guy still alive. So I lost 3 of my members on that fight. They are tough fights. My team can't really handle them, but that's fine. I'm going to level up my team soon. But now you'll get a rune, which again, like I said, is all legendary runes. Normal attacks deal additional damage to shields. I'm giving them a shield at the start of every battle. So taking a shield breaker rune makes a lot of sense for my team right now. I don't think these ones are the one I'm looking for. But I am going to go on the right path here. So these are tough, but as you saw, the rewards are absolutely worth it. So try and get as many of these done as you can as you play Guild of Guardians. We've got another Curse of Fate that I have to choose. This graveyard one is rough, but pretty much my entire team's dead now, so it's not so bad. Every time an ally dies, enemies regain 15% life. You really don't want that on a boss if you've got like if you got any squishies in your team, because it will cause you a lot of trouble. So you've got to use your own discretion for a lot of these things, but just really think about the long-term effects of some of these. So that might not be so bad if you're taking care of each of these enemies really easily, but the boss you might know already is going to take out 3 on your team without many issues. And so you want to avoid giving that boss things that is going to make it even harder to beat. You need to think about the long-term consequence of this sort of stuff. In this case, I'm going to give up. I could not beat it. I thought I was going to last a bit longer than that, but it is tough. These challenges are tough. But as we can see, I'm just going to quickly show you one more time. From challenge 3, right? The one-time rewards, the one-time reward, the first clear is going to give us 10 wisdom dust, 18 gold chests, 15 XP scrolls, and 8 of the gear scrolls. So that is a lot of really awesome rewards. If we even take a look at this one and maybe challenge 2, you can see that we would get heaps of different things, including material chests, gold, and everything like that. So these are incredibly important for maximizing your playtime in Guild of Guardians and making sure that you level up and enhance your gear as fast as possible.